The year is 2025. Donald Trump is back in the Oval Office for a second term. His pen is poised, ready to sign executive orders that will reshape the American economic landscape. These orders have the potential to be powerful tools, capable of enacting sweeping changes across industries and sectors. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the housing market, a cornerstone of the US economy. Trump's executive orders, with their focus on deregulation, tax cuts, and a reshaping of federal agencies, are poised to send ripples through the housing market, impacting everything from construction costs to mortgage rates. The stakes are high. The decisions made in the next 4 years will have long-lasting consequences for homeowners, renters, and the economy as a whole. Understanding the potential impact of these executive orders is crucial for navigating the future of American housing. One of the most pressing issues facing the Trump administration is the rising cost of housing. Inflation, fueled by a complex web of factors, including supply chain disruptions and increased demand, has pushed home prices to record highs in many parts of the country. This affordability crisis is particularly acute for low and middle income families who are increasingly priced out of home ownership and struggling to afford rent. Trump has made addressing inflation and housing affordability a key priority of his second term. Executive orders aimed at increasing the supply of affordable housing, providing tax breaks for first-time homebuyers, and streamlining the permitting process for new construction are all on the table. The effectiveness of these measures, however, remains to be seen. Critics argue that they fail to address the root causes of the affordability crisis, such as stagnant wages and a shortage of truly affordable housing options. The construction industry, a major driver of the housing market, relies heavily on immigrant labor. Trump's hardline stance on immigration, however, has led to a tightening of immigration policies, making it more difficult for construction companies to find and hire workers. This labor shortage has the potential to exacerbate existing challenges in the housing market. With fewer workers available, construction costs could rise, further driving up the price of new homes. Delays in construction projects due to labor shortages could also constrain the supply of new housing, putting upward pressure on prices. The impact of these policies on the construction workforce and the housing market is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. In an effort to protect American industries, Trump has imposed tariffs on a wide range of goods, including building materials such as lumber, steel, and aluminum. While these tariffs are intended to boost domestic production, they have also led to higher costs for builders and developers. These increased costs are often passed on to consumers in the form of higher home prices. The tariffs have also created uncertainty in the housing market, as builders and developers grapple with fluctuating material costs and try to predict the long-term impact of these trade policies. Section 5. Cutting the red tape. Deregulation in the construction industry. A cornerstone of Trump's economic agenda is deregulation, and the construction industry is no exception. The Trump administration has rolled back a number of regulations that it argues were burdensome and stifled economic growth. These include regulations related to environmental protection, worker safety, and land use. Proponents of deregulation argue that it will reduce costs for builders and developers, leading to more affordable housing and increased economic activity. Critics, however, counter that deregulation could lead to a weakening of environmental protections, compromise worker safety, and a decline in the quality of new construction. Section 6. Tax breaks and building booms. Real estate and the 2017 tax cuts. The 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, a signature achievement of the Trump administration, included a number of provisions that directly impact the real estate industry. These include a reduction in the corporate tax rate, changes to the deductibility of mortgage interest and property taxes, and the creation of opportunity zones, which offer tax breaks for investments in economically distressed areas. The impact of these tax cuts on the housing market is complex and multifaceted. While some argue that they will stimulate investment and lead to increased construction, others worry that they will primarily benefit wealthy investors and do little to address the needs of low and middle-income Americans. Section 7. Opportunity zones, a boon or a burden for communities. Opportunity zones, a key component of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, are designed to encourage investment in economically distressed communities by offering tax breaks to investors. While the program has the potential to spur economic development and revitalize struggling neighborhoods, it has also been met with criticism. Critics argue that opportunity zones could lead to gentrification, displacement of long-time residents, and a widening of the wealth gap. They also point to the lack of transparency and accountability in the program, which makes it difficult to track its effectiveness and ensure that the benefits are actually reaching the intended communities. Section 8. Reshaping HUD, potential impacts on housing policy. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, plays a critical role in shaping federal housing policy. The Trump administration has proposed significant changes to HUD, including budget cuts, staff reductions, and a shift in focus away from traditional affordable housing programs. These changes have raised concerns about the future of affordable housing in the United States. Critics argue that they will make it more difficult for low and middle-income families to access safe and affordable housing, potentially exacerbating the existing affordability crisis. Section 9. A new era for mortgages. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and privatization. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, government-sponsored enterprises that play a crucial role in the mortgage market, have been under government control since the 2008 financial crisis. The Trump administration has made privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac a priority, arguing that it will reduce risk to taxpayers and foster competition in the mortgage market. The potential impact of privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on the housing market is a subject of much debate. Proponents argue that it will lead to lower costs and increased innovation in the mortgage market. Critics, however, worry that it could lead to higher interest rates for borrowers and make it more difficult for some Americans to obtain a mortgage. The future of the American housing market hangs in the balance. The decisions made in the coming years will have a profound impact on homeowners, renters, and the economy as a whole. It remains to be seen whether the Trump administration's policies will lead to a more affordable and equitable housing market, or whether they will exacerbate existing challenges and create new ones.